Fucking hell, here we go again, another fucking transfer window. Right, so obviously if you don't know, Liverpool so far in this transfer window have made one signing, the backup left back that we've just got from Olympiacos. Pretty good business, don't get me wrong. I'm happy to see that we've already started getting ready on squad depth and stuff like that. You know, I think it's very important that we start getting these players in, you know, that are going to increase the depth of the squad, because at the end of the day, if you want to keep pushing and you want to keep improving, you've just got to get those type of players. So now one player that I want to talk about, one player that we've been linked with very heavily for weeks, but mostly over the past 24 hours, is Thiago Alcantara from Bayern Munich. Rumoured fee, I'm earning 30 million euros, I'm earning like 40 million, like between that range, and I'm thinking, like, in right now's climate, like, are you gonna get a better player of that stature for that type of money? You know, Werner was being talked like 50, 60 million, which I thought was a steal. We didn't go and take that. On top of this, you know, you ask me, do I think should we sign Thiago Alcantara? Well, if you look at every circumstance that's revolving the situation, because you can't just think, well, he's a very good player, so let's go and get him. It's like saying, you know, like, let's go and get, I don't know, Sterling back at Liverpool when we've still got Salah who's in his prime and Mane who's in his prime, and you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, you can get Sterling and yeah, you can find somewhere for him, but it's not like you need him. He's not a necessity. Whereas when you look at Liverpool's situation and you look at the situation that revolves around the club at the minute, we're not linked with players left, right and centre. Bear in mind, and every club's in this circumstance, there's a fucking pandemic, global fucking lockdown shit and bollocks going on. Do you know what I mean? So people aren't too eager to just get up and move anywhere right now, even if that is the champions of Europe, champions of England and the champions of the world. Sorry, I have to throw it in there, mate. You don't get to say that every day, do you? You know what I mean? I can't even remember, like, oh, lad, I'm just happy, lad. I'm happy. Anyway, back to transfer business. Yeah, so when I talk about circumstances, you've got to look at players like, you know, Gini Wijnaldum. Now, the circumstance around him, he is an unbelievably technical player. Now, I was doing a live stream yesterday and people was actually saying to me, like, you really think that about Gini Wijnaldum? Like, you really think he's that good? Yeah, I do think he's that good. You know, ever since that Barcelona game, I think he's that good. You know, yeah, obviously he doesn't play, you know, maybe an 8, 9 out of 10 week in, week out, but he's a solid player, and if you get rid of him, you're going to have to go out and replace him. You can't just expect Naby Keita, who we've saw, don't get me wrong, signs of clash, but only in a few games. And as well as that, you know, you've got Henderson, who's on the back end of his career. You know, he's still looking great, and don't get me wrong, this is the best football Henderson's ever played. I'm not saying he's, you know, he's on his last legs, but, you know, he's not young, he's not 21 no more. Same with James Milner. I mean, I'm not being funny. What more has James Milner got to achieve in football? He won everything with Manchester City, piece of piss. He won everything with Liverpool, piece of piss. He's not going to play much football for us this year. If I'm James Milner and I've just saw my boyhood club, the club that I played my first ever professional season of football with, back to the Premier League, and I can do whatever I can to keep them up after I've just won multiple Champions League, well, a Champions League, multiple Premier Leagues, etc. Mate, I would absolutely jump on that, especially considering he's not going to play much this season. You've got Oxlade-Chamberlain, who just isn't always 100% fit, you know, and I love Oxlade-Chamberlain, I love to see him play, but that's when he can play. You know, obviously you've got Fabinho, now he's just a different role to what we're talking about, so he's not really in this conversation. But when you move a Gini Wijnaldum out the squad, surely that means you've got to replace him. Now, Jurgen Klopp knows a lot more about me, about football than I do, and especially about Liverpool, so I absolutely can be just chatting shit right now, and we could just be in good stead. And I'm not saying we absolutely 100% need signings. Like, I'm not saying that at all, but like, if you want to keep improving, like, someone was talking to me on my live stream yesterday about, and they asked me a question like, do you think Liverpool can reach the heights that Man United did under Sir Alex? And I said, well, it's going to take a lot to do so. And what I meant by that is like you've got to actually show improvement. You've got to, I think, to stay on top, you've got to keep buying in those players, and that's what Man United done. They kept evolving over them years, especially under Sir Alex. They just kept improving, buying top class players. You know, when they bought Van Persie, that was just a perfect signing, because that was just exactly what they needed. And I think that's all Liverpool needs. I'm not saying we need to go out and get 6 players, but maybe a Thiago Alcantara can just be that one player that we do need in the squad. You know, that one necessity, that one player that we can look at and be like, do you know what, because he can push all the other players as well as just add a bit of something to the squad. He's class. He knows what it's like to win. He plays with a great club in Bayern Munich. He knows what it's like to win. Believe me, I've just watched him against Chelsea. I've watched them for Bayern this season. He is a world-class player, and for 30 million, you're not getting many better players out there. And this can be your one big signing of the transfer window. Liverpool fans will actually be content with that. And it's for 30 million. For me, it's a steal. And like, I think we really do need to make this signing, or at least some signings, because like I just don't want to see Liverpool because even though we've got a great squad and they're not like old, do you know what I mean? They're all of a good age as well. Like people are in the prime. You've got people like Trent who obviously should really still be in his learning stages, but just looks like he's at the start of his prime, which is crazy. But I'm not saying let's replace these players. I'm just saying let's get them some competition. Let's keep them on the toes, you know what I mean? Let's just keep improving. Now maybe once this video's posted, Jurgen is just going to go out and buy 6 or 7 world-class players, and this video was just him basically telling me to shut up, and that's absolutely fine. And even if he doesn't do that, that's absolutely fine, because Jurgen Klopp is boss, and he knows well more about football than me and you, and especially about his own team. But I think we should just go. I think a few improvements, especially when you consider last transfer window as well. I think you need to go out and get this one. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think we should sign Thiago Alcantara? In my opinion, I do think we have to. I think it's a necessity. But anyway, nice one for watching the video, user, massively appreciate it. Go and follow me Instagram and stuff like that. I go live sometimes. I'm posting more on there now, posting more on this YouTube. This is the fourth upload in 4 days, so I hope you are enjoying the content, and if you do, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you wish, and see you later from me and my dog Rhubarb. Get in now, what the fuck.